The next round is called The Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. 7 out of 10 adults are unaware that there is an £80 on-the-spot fine for what?
Is there an £80 on-the-spot fine for letting your kids scream and run around?
It is to do with kids.
Is it threatening to shut them in the car? Because, like, our son Jack, he was about 6 and he was really infuriating everybody, right? I used to say to him, if you don't behave yourself, you're going to the car. And on this occasion, it was Sunday lunch in the pub and he wouldn't shut the up. So I picked him up.
He's a proud dad.
OK, he's 19 now, I still do it. Put him over my shoulder and started to walk out through... And everyone was really glad, right? People like you. Nice one. Thanks, Dad, you're doing it. So I said, come on, we're going to the car. And we weren't really. Just going out the front, a little word, and then come back. Going out through all these people and the tables, and he's a little sod. He suddenly got the idea of going to above my head to the public, and he said, "Not the car! Not the car!" Right? I said, "No, you're coming to the car." And he goes, "Help!"
It's buying something you shouldn't.
Alcohol underage.
Correct.
Alcohol underage.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, 7 out of 10 adults are unaware that there is an £80 on-the-spot fine for buying alcohol for minors, but it's worth it just to see their little drunken faces. Kids slur the funniest things. 71% of Brits agree that what is an acceptable pastime?
What about sex?
Sex?
Yeah.
Do you only find sex acceptable?
That's what I tend to say after sex. I tend to say that it was acceptable.
Is it acting? Acting isn't acceptable. It's not a proper job, is it?
Bollocks.
No, it's just you've got to read out loud without giggling. Really, is it?
I was sat next to an actress at a dinner and she was talking about, God, it's so hard. You sit in this trailer all day long. I'm like, yeah, right, you get paid like £9 million per movie. Shut up.
Who was the actress?
Not telling.
Come on. Come on, name that bitch.
Patricia Routledge.
No.
Is Patricia Routledge getting £9 million a movie? Come on, who is it?
I think she's cracking.
I'll tell you what, we'll put you in the car. It won't be the first time me and Richard Madeley have bundled a young lady into the back of the car.
Can you give us a clue?
It involves holding something in your hand.
Angling. Going to be fishing.
Exactly the right answer, Neil Morrison.
I thought so.
So that means that quite a large percentage of British people think that angling is completely unacceptable.
Yeah. And they're running on the riverbank, pushing them in.
Angling is totally unacceptable!
Here's your next one. 10% of dinner ladies see what as essential?
Is it food?
What about Topless Friday? No fried food today. Come on.
I'll give you a clue. It's to do with a kitchen implement.
Axe. An axe.
What about like a serving spoon?
That would be higher than 10%, I feel.
Yes, yeah. No, a lot of them just do it with their hands. Like that. There you go.
Well, I have to tell you, I can't believe you haven't guessed. 10% of dinner ladies think salad spinners are essential.
Oh.
Sean, Jade, Reginald, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Well, I think definitely the Winter Olympics. The thing I find really fascinating is the judges in the ice skating. They're just so harsh. Because you can see in ice skating, do amazing things like leap in the air, do 3 twists, come down on one leg, skate off, spin round, and we're all going, that's amazing. And the judge goes, moved his head. I'd like to see what score I'd get on the ice.
Have you ever skated before?
A little bit, but I'd be clinging to the side. What score I'd get? Well, I get like 0.1.
Well, we win very little, so we could introduce events that we'd have a chance of winning over here that we're good at in this country. Sliding down a hill on a bin bag. They'd be at the top of the hill like that, Swiss going, what do you think, Hans? We'd be halfway down. Come on, Billy! Trees, in and out of trees. We could have old men clearing the path relay.
Pissing in snow.
Yeah.
Writing your name.
I love the curling, do you not? I can't go to bed if curling's on. 6-pack bag of nuts, I'm up all night if curling's on. I'm like, that me. Use your brush, use your brush!
I think it'd be nice if in the middle of the target they had a hole and you heard a big sploosh.
Yeah. Do you know, this year, one of the English teams said it, the ice is not up to the standard it should be for Olympics, and so it's not as exciting as it should be.
How you gonna have the Winter Olympics and not have a snowball fight? They should have a snowball fight, everybody wearing a flag representing their country, and whoever just get bust dead center in the head. Boosh!
if we drew Germany in the semi-finals. Whoa!
It'd be bloodshed.
Get some coal in, Billy. Get some coal in. Hey, come on.
Can I just say, are you sure you know what you're talking about? Because I didn't think the Olympics even started, because I thought you was having it here.
No, you're absolutely right. The Olympics isn't on. I'm mental. Yeah. I don't know what I was going about. What are you talking about? The Winter Olympics? Will you shut up? We're just mad.
So the Olympics is going to be in here somewhere.
When is it here?
Yeah.
When's it here, Jade?
I don't know. That's why I'm a bit confused if he's on there.
No, you might be right. Jesus Christ, you better tell Hazel Irvine and the whole British team out there reporting these crazy foreigners slipping about on the ice.
I thought you might be watching that celebrity ice skating film.
Have you been watching Celebrity Ice Skating and you got confused?
No.
You know, that's the first thing I flick on when I come home in the evening. I don't want to drink, I don't want to smoke, I don't want to touch nobody's ass, I want to watch celebrity ice skate. That's me, yeah.
There's not enough dogs on ice. Take a dog into the middle of an ice rink, put it down, go off to the edge, shout it.
Well, let's have a look and see whether the Winter Olympics is one of the most talked about things this week.
Oh, it is.
Yes, the Winter Olympics kicked off last week. Britain's Tom Clemens took part in the 10K skiing sprint. He had to be content with 79th position. He was beaten by Spring. The scientist had to invent a new metal for his medal, Lastium. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Here's your first question. In the 1940s, 25% of men what?
Had my nan in an Anderson shells.
She flattened some grass, didn't she?
Oh, yes.
Is it 25% of men ate a diet of only powdered egg and weasels?
Weasels?
25% of men who fought for our freedom and our future rights didn't realise 60 years later all the thanks they'd get would be happy slapping and pushing dog through the letterbox.
Well, Alan, all I've got to say to that is stop it.
In the 1940s, 25% of men wore knitted swimming trunks. They never had proper swimming trunks in them days. They used to knit them, didn't they? They used to go paddling off the coast of Blackpool, and your trunks would be 3 foot behind you. Full of scampi.
It's to do with kind of moral depravity.
We're having affairs?
It's not having an affair. It's I think, morally worse than that.
Murdered. You say it's worse than having an affair. Just trying. I mean, it might be a bit of a leap.
I think.
Visited hookers?
Correct. That's the right answer. Yes, in the 1940s, 25% of men slept with prostitutes. It sounds bad, but have a look at your gran. Can you blame them? 75% of Russians are afraid of what?
Is it Virginia Woolfsky?
I wish it was.
Well, it's texting. They've got to take their gloves off, haven't they? You ever tried texting with gloves on? You end up trying to say something like, "Hi, how are you?" And you end up saying, "Fuck, it's back at Book."
Is it KGB?
It's not the KGB, it's related to that.
Oh.
B&Q.
B&Q is not related to the KGB. They would never...
TBC.
No.
CBeebies.
Correct.
I'm afraid of CBeebies, yeah.
It's one of the emergency services.
The AA?
Is it the police?
Yes, it is the police. Yes, 75% of Russians are afraid of their own police force. The other 25 are missing. Shh, say nothing.
Don't upset the Russians, Jimmy. Don't upset the Russians because they got all the gas. They could phone up Power Gen and they'd say, "Don't give him any gas." And they'll do it.
You know what the irony will be? They won't be annoyed at the joke, they'll be annoyed at that accent. OK, the average Brit has lost 37 what?
37 hours of their life explaining the internet to an old person.
No, it's like a big... But what, like an encyclopedia? Yeah. Another cup of tea and a biscuit.
Is it Twixes? I never lost a Twix, it was a guess. Imagine if you'd lost 37 of them, though.
You
buying them, wouldn't you? What are you going to have? Mars bar, Twix? I'm not having Twix, keep losing.
I like the way as a badge of honour you said, I've never lost a Twix.
37 elderly relatives to Errol Shipman.
I'll give you a clue. They're round and shiny, they have a hole in them.
Women?
Are you single by any chance?
CDs is the right answer. Yes, the average Brit has lost 37 CDs. The next round is called Believe It or Not. In this round, I'll give the panellists a simple statement. All they have to do is decide whether they think it's true or false. Sean, Les and Christian, have a look at this clip to illustrate your statistic.
No, that's what you can do if you want to do. Look, I'm down bloody here and no don't bloody come down bloody like a bloody press when the guy fuck asked you to come in and have a cup of tea and you're telling me what the Jesus Christ couldn't tell me what to do, never mind you.
Sean's dad there.
I like the idea that he's going towards Shane Ritchie doing a Daz advert. I'll give you 2 for this.
OK, here is your related statistic. Britain is the angriest nation in Europe. True or false?
How would you measure who's angrier than who? If you took the Scots out, we'd probably be all right.
I don't know. I think English football fans are the only people who, when they visit another country, the police there have to go into special training weeks. And you know that every time there's like a tournament in Spain or something, the local police are all in a field beating cows to death with a truncheon. Get some practice in.
Yeah, but Scotland, I went to Scotland once when all the rugby was on, and all there was like fat men with no tops on kicking each other in the street.
That was our Mardi Gras.
But we can't be the angriest nation. I mean, we get angry, but we just get quite vexed, don't we? We never follow it through. If you're on the phone to somebody getting really, really annoyed on the phone, our idea of getting angry is getting angry when you've hung up. And then so you go, yeah, right, yeah, no, you see, you're up, yeah, OK, right, oh, fair enough, yeah. You wanker!
People argue with me, they say I'm Keith Chegwin, and I say, no, I'm not. And they say, yes, you are. And they row with me. I'm not Keith Chegwin, you bloody are. I'm Les Dennis, don't be ridiculous, he's dead. Actually, had somebody say that to me.
Bless him.
Can we just get on with this? He looked at you like you were a young monkey. Like he was just going to rip you apart like a chicken wing.
That looks like... That's me after meeting your mum. Britain is the angriest nation in Europe. True or false? What do you think, Sean?
No, it's false. It's the Swiss. They're livid.
You're going for false?
It's false.
False.
You are right. I can tell you that the answer is false. Britain is Europe's second most angry country after Portugal. Yeah. Which means that Portugal go on to meet Iran in the final. Dave, Chantal and Frankie, let's have a look at a clip to illustrate your statistic.
I know what that is. Wasn't that the day that you visited Scotland?
And those footballers, they love a sail. OK, your related statistic is 12% of British men admit having been reduced to tears during a shopping trip. True or false?
I only cried once, and it's when I went to DFS and bought a sofa full price.
The one day of the year.
I've been very upset by stuff I've bought. I fell out with this girlfriend of mine because you know, she's getting really upset because she thinks there's a big difference between, like, semi-skimmed and banana-flavoured milk. It's milk! Come on! That's just nitpicking.
I've been in a supermarket and people come and say, what are you doing here? You know, and I'm like, well, I'm doing my shopping. Every now and again, I've got to eat. It's kind of like they think there's a celebrity Asda somewhere, you know, that we all go to.
There is actually, Les, you haven't been invited.
That was nice, the little showbiz. Yeah. OK, so 12% of British men admit having been reduced to tears during a shopping trip. True or false? What do you think?
We all think it's true.
You think it's true? Well, I'm afraid you're wrong. Actually, just 3% of men have broken down and cried during a shopping trip. In their defence, they were shopping for their wife's coffin. It's the one she would have wanted. What, the first one you saw? Yeah. The next round is Believe It or Not. In this round, I'll give the panellists a simple statement. All they have to do is decide whether they think it's true or false. Sean, Christian and Lauren, you're up first. Have a look at this clip to illustrate your statistic.
Jesus loves the little children, all the little children of the world. Red or yellow, black or white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. 'Cause everything is beautiful in every way, like a starry summer night or snow-covered winter's day.
That was Neil Martin on Seaside Special in 1979 singing about Jesus. Here is your related statistic.
Right, OK.
62% of people who claim to hear the voice of God say that he has a posh accent. Is that true or false?
Well, firstly, I'm worried that you're polling people who hear the voice of God. Well, it's funny when people hear voices. They always hear voices to make them do bad things. Never hear voices say, go home, do the washing up, go to bed early. Have a nice mug of cocoa. Really, I should be out killing people.
I had a voice in my head and it got bored with me.
Do you remember that, the Greatest Britain poll that was a couple of years ago? I read that they did an American one. Do you know who got voted for the greatest American ever by Americans? Jesus.
Wow.
Seriously, it was Jesus.
Christian, you proud American?
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like...
Oh, God. OK, true or false?
I'd say yes, they do.
Well, I can tell you you're absolutely right. It is true.
What a feeling.
62% of people who claim to have heard the voice of God say he has a posh accent. Fair enough, I can't imagine God being a Cockney. You nail my boy to what, you toilet? OK, Dave, Johnny and Rob, let's have a look at a clip to illustrate your statistic.
Bike's a bike. How do you describe a bike?
If you have a bicycle but can't really describe it.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't lock my bike. I didn't think it necessary. I just left it in my back way and...
And you leave your bike without a lock.
No one lock pinched it round here. Well, somebody pinched it, didn't they?
And leave valuables in your saddlebag.
I'd rather not see what's in the saddlebag. It's personal.
You may well lose your bike for good.
That was a public information film there about bike theft. Here's your related statistic. 16% of Brits would steal a child's bike if it were their only means of getting home after a drunken night out. Is that true or false?
I'd steal a pram.
You'd have to be pissed to even try and ride a kid's bike, though, wouldn't you, really? You wouldn't do that and all that, with them little streamers coming out of handlebars like that. You'll never take me alive, copper!
Johnny, if you sat on a kid's bike, you wouldn't be able to see the front wheel.
That's the beauty of it. Good, and the posh voice is going, use your left hand and your right hand and allow gravity to send you home, fat fellow. There's a skip with a handy ramp. You can jump that police car.
This is like watching a breakdown.
What do you mean, like?
Dave, what do you think, true or false?
True. Oh, no, if they've got a little basket on the front for a kebab.
There's no like it in 70 with a snack. The meat starts to bounce up and you can catch it like a seal.
Well, I can tell you, you're absolutely right.
Hey! We got a point.
Yes.
We got a point.
16% of Brits would steal a child's bike if it were their only means of getting home after a drunken night out. How are the drunk kids going to get home? Steal a car, I suppose.